Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another music therapy podcast episode. This is our 15th episode, right? Am I correct?
That's correct, number 15.
Yep, we are on our 15th episode. Let me go ahead and pause the music here. Okay, yeah, so today we are on episode 15 of the Music Therapy Podcast. I am super excited for today's song. It's definitely one of the newer songs that we've looked at.
2024, I think.
I believe it was 2024 or 2023. This came out by Jason Gray. That's the one we're going to be looking at today. Let me actually go ahead and pull up the actual name here.
Be Kind. Jason Gray.
Let's see. Let me pull it up here. Yeah, Be Kind by Jason Gray. Yeah, it's a really cool song. I'm actually super excited to get into this one. But before we actually start, let me go ahead and introduce us like I normally do. So, hi guys. My name is Holly Dale. I am a musician, and I am here today with my father. His name is Toby Holly, and he is a licensed mental health counselor. And he's going to be giving basically the main points regarding what we're going to be looking at today, since I'm just the musician. I don't have a license, but he does. So, yeah, what we're going to do is we are going to listen to the song, and then we'll pause it every verse and chorus. I'll read the verse and chorus for us, or whatever we're on, just to make sure that we understand what the lyrics are actually saying. We're not confused on that. And after we do that for each section, we will go through and give our ideas and thoughts about the lyrics in the song. And at the end, we'll kind of go through different ways that you can actually use the music in a music therapy setting for yourself. So,
Exactly.
Yeah, that's our overall goal for these podcasts. And yeah, I'm actually super excited. We're on episode 15. We have gone far. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and get the actual music and everything ready. And do you want to go ahead and give us an overview of what we'll be talking about today? And
Sure.
with the song?
This particular song, Be Kind by Jason Gray, one of the things that it will help you with, if that's a thing that you are looking to resolve in life, is anger. And that's kind of neat. I mean, a lot of music out there endeavors to help with things like anxiety and depression and you know, different stuff, broken heart and that sort of thing. This one actually, I think, puts a really nice, just kind of a way to help folks struggling with anger and empathy and compassion and stuff with a lot of encouragement. So the song, as far as I think of it, draws from a verse in Galatians, which talks about the fruits of the Spirit.
Okay.
And be kind. Of course, we're talking about kind is one of those fruits. And I just love that he lifted that particular trait and he built an entire song around it with the encouragement,
That's true, yes.
you know, for us to focus on it. And I really do think that if we use this song in maybe a kind of a prayerful, therapeutic way, it can help you grow.
Yeah, I do think that's true.
It's a good song.
Yeah. Okay. So that was kind of our overview there of the song we will be looking at in just a moment. So I'll go ahead and pull that up, and we will listen to the first verse of Be Kind by Jason Gray. Let me pull it up here. Hopefully it's not too loud. That's good. Okay. Yeah. So here we are. The first verse. Super quiet.
Brake lights stuck on the highway. Some guy cuts into my
I think that's loud enough.
anger like an explosion. I'm mad and make sure he knows it, but I don't know what he's been through. The family's trying to get to. That's when the spirit inside me reminds me.
All right, let's go and pause it. So yeah, that was verse 1. I'll go ahead and read it for us. Hopefully that was loud enough for everybody to hear. But yeah, I'm already definitely seeing the theme of kindness here already in the first verse, which is really cool. I love seeing that immediately out the gate. I'm like, oh yeah, I know what we're probably going to be talking about today. But yeah, okay, so let's go ahead and read verse 1. So verse 1 says, brake lights stuck on the highway. Some guy cuts into my lane.
Rude.
Anger like an explosion. I'm mad and make sure he knows it. But I don't know what he's been through. Family he's trying to get to. That's when the spirit reminds me. Or that's when the spirit inside me reminds me. So yeah, that was verse 1.
That's good. I think this song does have a couple of stories like this, and very highly relatable stories. I mean, what driver out there hasn't had probably multiple instances of anger and, you know, frustration and hostility when somebody does something rude?
Right.
And so, you know, I think that's what he's touching there, and that's true. But despite the fact that happened and that was rude, it isn't good to be angry and hostile. To respond out of anger just isn't good. And I'd say first and foremost, it isn't good for myself because, that's not helping me in my body and in my psyche. And, that may not be the main focus, but, it's kind of not good for the world around you too. And a really cool question that you can, sometimes think about is what am I giving God? What am I giving him? And really the way to answer that question is the good that you do in life is what you're giving God.
Oh, that's good. I love that.
That's actually what that is, And so if we're allowing ourselves to be so caught up in a moment of anger, even if it's justified, it's just not good. And one way to address that, and we'll tip our hat to Jason Gray, is be kind.
Yeah.
And he was just kind of giving an alternate concept here, is you don't really know what's going on in this person's story. You don't know, what family they're trying to get to, what kind of crisis might be going on.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Really, it could be, and so why not give him the benefit of the doubt and be kind?
That's true. Actually, I don't remember. A few episodes ago, we talked about something similar to this, about like being in other people's heads and kind of have like, honestly, that's kind of like odd, you know what I mean? To be like knowing what they're thinking and that sort of thing. But I don't know. For me, I feel like it's easy to get angry out at others without knowing their circumstances, like we just said. Yeah. And I think kind of from a Christian perspective, it's a reminder that the Holy Spirit kind of nudges us to show compassion and understand that others might be dealing with like unseen struggles and issues. Definitely for me as a musician and going to high school and, a few semesters in college, I've been able to kind of start to see behind the scenes of the music world. And that is something I see people struggling with things like pride and that sort of thing, and anger for sure, because there's like pressures that are built with like being a performer, you know what I mean, entertaining. And in turn, that can actually end up, lashing out to other people. And, I've experienced that myself. And I've tried to teach myself, to be kind to those people, regardless of the situation that they're going through, because, I don't know what they're going through and pressures and stuff. But it's also for me a reminder that, in the long run, you being kind to others can actually help them on their walk with Jesus. You know what I mean? Because that's something that is not necessarily common for you to be kind to somebody, regardless of them, lashing out to you. They kind of go back and to themselves most likely, and they'll be like, oh, that person's being nice to me, and I said this, that, and the other thing, or I did this, that, and the other thing. So in the long run, you're actually helping out their own soul with being kind to them and just kind of being the person who is the example. Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. So yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts on on verse 1, already beginning to kick off the idea of kindness regardless of the situation. Yeah. So yeah. Okay, so that was verse 1. Let's go ahead and jump into the chorus. Okay. I think it jumps right in. I think we paused it perfectly, which is nice. Okay, here.
That's when the spirit inside me reminds me.
Okay, here, there we go.
To be kind, 'cause everyone you meet is fighting their own battle. They're fighting their own battle. So be kind, 'cause everyone you see needs to know that matter. They need to know that matter. So be kind, kind. Long line is trying to check.
Okay, let's go ahead and pause. All right. So I'll go ahead and read the chorus for us. Okay. So the chorus reads, to be kind, because everyone you meet is fighting their own battle. Fighting their own battle, so be kind to everyone you see, because everyone needs to know that they matter. That's essentially what it says.
Yes.
So yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Yeah, beautiful message, emphasizing. And so the chorus here, I think, is what reiterates the message of kindness, throughout the song. And so this is our first moment to examine it. And I like the theme. So everybody needs to know they matter. Mm-hmm. And when we're kind to a person, it just reiterates that they matter. And of course, that's not so hard when they're being nice to you. It's way tougher when they're being inconsiderate. And so it does take an awful lot of maturity and development in our own character to be kind under circumstances that don't normally evoke being kind. And that's actually why we're examining the song, just to try and give some help and some hints and nudges as to how to help a person achieve that in a world that doesn't often exude kind. So I think that's just kind of my impression as I listen to the message of the chorus.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. Hey guys, we're gonna be right back. I'm having a little problem with this stream. I'm just gonna pause it for one little second.
Problem.
Okay. We'll be right back, guys. There we go. All right, no worries. We are back. Sorry about that, guys. All right, let's go ahead and jump right back to where we were. So let's see. We were just in the chorus. Did you finish everything?
Yeah,
What's
I think
your
so.
thought?
You
Okay,
can
cool.
Go to verse 2 if you want.
All right, we will go into verse 2. Okay, let's see. Let me pull the lyrics here. Oh, whoops, hold on. I have to actually go pull it up. 'Tis in the background. Here we go. Okay. So I think we're about here. Or just the chorus? We just finished the chorus.
That's good.
Yeah.
First thought this kid wasn't raised right. Next thought, I wonder what their home
Yeah, so this is verse 2.
see. She's a single mother, just trying to hold it all together. She'd break down if she could afford to. It wouldn't cost me any more to be.
Okay, so there we go. That was verse 2. All right, let's go ahead and jump into that. I'll go ahead and read it for us, though.
Perfect.
And then you can give us our little analysis about that.
Okay.
So verse 2 reads, long line, just trying to check out. Behind me, a kid starts to act out. First, though, this kid wasn't raised right. Next thought, I wonder what their home's like. Then I see she's a single mother, just trying to hold it all together. She'd break down if she could afford to. It wouldn't cost me any more to. So yeah, that was verse 2. Want to give us thoughts on that?
Again, I think, you have different stories in the song, and this would be story number 2. Very relatable. How many times have you been in Walmart and there was some unruly kid and you just couldn't believe,
Right.
temper tantrum city or something.
Yeah.
And that's common and it's frustrating, and so what he's doing is he's kind of revealing thoughts I think we all had, which
right.
are rather critical and judgmental, and then there's this moment of conviction, and then he begins to lean a different direction and hang on, a single mom, and actually maybe life isn't so easy for a single mom, and hey, why do I need to be kind of rude like this? And all this is going on inside his head. But it's lovely to see that that there's this movement from probably judgment to kindness.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I mean, I don't know if I'm going too far by saying this, but probably just a facial expression or something, like, how he might have looked when he was thinking so judgmentally in this lady's direction, and then perhaps he softens in his face and in his body or something, because those kinds of things actually are nonverbal messages too, and so even if he didn't actually say anything, there was an energy there that was kind.
That's true.
And I think what good do we give God? It's a good question to ask yourself. Or I should say, what kind of thing do we give God? And the answer to that is good. I mean, what God can take from us is what represents Him, and that's good. And kind is one of those things that represent good.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so it's just neat to kind of hear that story and how he reframed his thinking and how to live instead of being kind of a jerk.
Yeah, that's good. Actually, that does remind me of a question that we got in our comments not too long ago, and I think I'll go ahead and ask that right now before we jump into the chorus again.
Okay.
But yeah, this question was asked, and they basically said, it's not easy to be kind, and that's something that this person struggles with. They wanted to ask you, what would you suggest would be the best way to train a mindset that would allow you to be kind without needing to constantly remind yourself to be kind?
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a great moment to ask that question because, like I said, I'm really celebrating verse 2 and just the kind of the genius, the way Jason laid these lyrics out. So. The first thing I would say is I agree that it isn't easy to be kind. I would even more broadly say it's not easy to be good or to do good. I think the way humans usually kind of roll is self-preservation. So the central part or central theme of a person's thinking is often self. I kind of think that's where you wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And if you want to be a healthy human, you really have to kind of challenge yourself at that root level, not to just let yourself drift in those kind of no fun directions. And so yeah, to the point, I don't think it's easy. I don't think it's natural. But here's the thing: if you're going to learn anything kind of for the first time, if you can actually learn it, you have to train yourself to kind of get it inside you. And so there's no way around it. I think discipline is in order on the front end of training yourself how to be kind, and that might look like reminding yourself to be kind. Before we close the podcast, we'll talk more about different exercises and things.
Oh yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but in the end, I think it is a practice of reminding yourself to be kind. But be encouraged. By and by, there's going to be a time when it's not quite so laborious. It just comes naturally because you learned it down into your body, is the way I like to say it.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, that's good. I definitely agree with that. That is an awesome answer to that question. Yeah, so let's go ahead and so that was verse 2 we just got into. Verse 2. Let's go ahead and jump into the bridge.
I think the chorus rolls in, and then the bridge is after that, I think.
Oh, is that true?
I think
okay.
That's how it's set up,
yeah. So we'll go ahead and listen to all that. I might have to skip forward, but we'll see. Oops, that was loud. Jump right into it. Pause it real quick there. Okay. Was there anything else that you just wanted to say again earlier since the stream got interrupted about the chorus?
Just that the chief message of the song is kind of built into the chorus, be kind, and what he's doing, and again, I really appreciate the genius in the lyrics. What he's showing is that when we're kind to somebody, that communicates a message that they matter. And, everybody wants to know that they matter, and we all have a story. It's not easy. And giving people the benefit of the doubt is not an easy thing, but a very mature and Christ-like thing to do. And that to me, is what I think the chorus is saying. Yeah, same. I feel like that's what he's saying as well in the chorus. But yeah, okay, let's go ahead and now jump back into the bridge. Yes. Okay.
Of God flow through me now. Love to let you in and pour you out. Love of God, show me how to be kind.
There we go. All right, so that was the bridge. I'll go ahead and read that for us.
Okay.
So the bridge reads, love of God, flow through me now. Love of God, show me how to let you in and pour you out. Love of God, show me how. That's good.
Yes, it's 4 or some odd lines, but really beautiful. And
True, yeah.
I mean, clearly this is a prayer. He's addressing God directly, and it's a lovely prayer. And my interpretation of it is what I feel like he's saying is the idea of being kind happens when we, kind of take in God's love and then try and exude God's love through us. I mean, really, it's God doing this thing through us. That's how it's actually happening.
Yeah,
so there's a
true.
teammanship between ourselves and God, because it's like, back to the point, it's pretty tough to be kind, sort of in and of yourself, but we're asking God to help us with that. So it's a beautiful prayer. The love of God is actually how he's landing on kind in the course of his life. That's my interpretation of what the bridge is doing there.
Yeah, I feel like that's true. Yeah. Let's see. I have some thoughts actually on the bridge that I wrote down earlier. So yeah, I feel like the bridge is, like you said, a prayer. That's asking God to fill us with kindness, with guide us and to fill us with His love. And I feel like it emphasizes the need for divine help to be able to truly live out kindness and compassion the way God created it to be.
Yeah.
I feel like this kind of reflects the Christian belief that we need God's strength and love to be able to love others fully and selflessly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what I was kind of
And
getting
if we're
from
going to
the
have a
bridge.
community and not be real lonely,
Right.
then these things are a part of what it means to be a healthy human.
That's
And,
true.
Yeah. And that matters.
That's good. Okay, yeah, so that was the bridge. So let's jump into the chorus and then the outro, because I want to get into some of the questions that we got
Yeah, great.
from the stream last time.
'Cause everyone you meet is fighting their own battle. We're all fighting our own battle. Oh, so be kind. 'Cause everyone you see needs to know they matter. We all need to know we matter. So be kind. Be kind. Be kind.
Okay, so that was the chorus. And I know we just basically said what we wanted to say on the chorus. Do we want to just jump to the outro?
Sure.
or- Okay.
Maybe just in advance to doing that, I think this is really cool. And you're the musician, okay? But we have a movement from the chorus into the outro, and the transition is just so smooth. It really just kind of works so
That's
well.
true. Yeah, hold on.
And
Yeah. We can listen to it, and I'll listen to that part. We can talk about it. Let's see.
Needs to know they matter.
Just jump into the music.
We all
Yeah.
need to know we matter. So be kind. Be kind.
Let's see for the outro. I think it's here.
Be kind.
We're about to be here.
I think it's back here.
Well, here. Yeah, here's the outro. Oh, yeah, I see how it's connected. Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, you're right. That is really cool. That's cool. So I'll go ahead and pause it there. But yeah, so the outro is really fun because a lot of times what musicians will do is they don't want to leave the song necessarily on a down note. I'm not sure if he did at the very end there, but so far it seems like he wants to keep the beat, kind of the energy right here at the outro, just kind of high and on par with the chorus. So that's fun. Sometimes what we'll do is, speaking from my own experience, we just kind of bleed everything together. So it sounds like an extension to the chorus rather than an outro.
Exactly.
But it's just maybe there's some thoughts that the artist had maybe that he wanted to include in the chorus that maybe just, I don't know, maybe didn't make the final cut. I've done that myself. And he's like, well, I'll just put in the outro at the end. We'll extend the chorus and then right at the end we'll put in those thoughts. And it's cool here. Looking at the outro, it looks like he put a lot of questions and then after a couple questions, he puts an answer. So that's kind of fun. Let me go ahead and read that for us, actually. We can have a couple of thoughts there before we jump into some of the techniques and stuff that you can use for this song for music therapy. Okay, I'll go ahead and read the outro then. So the outro reads, "Who is my brother? Who is my sister?" And then it says, "Everyone, be kind." Who is my brother? Who is my sister? Everyone kind. So be kind. That's the end. That is the outro. That's cool. I love that. That it's asking a question and answering it.
I'll say voiceover. Hope I'm getting that right. Again, you're the musician.
It's all right.
But we have in the background there the word kind. You know.
It's just the backing vocal.
Okay, sorry, the backing vocal.
You're fine.
And that I think ties together that final chorus. In the outro. And it's also the answer to the question, in as much as everyone, kind is kind of the answer to the question. So that's kind of fun. And who posed the question? Well, that's Jesus.
That's true.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's somewhere in like Matthew 22. There is this little exchange between Jesus and some folks, and like, hey, Jesus, your mama, she wants to talk to you. And he took that opportunity to say, well, who is my mother? Who is my sister? You know, and he's just trying to kind of expand the concept of what family, means. And it's everyone. We need to be very thoughtful about the world around us as being a family and a community, and that they deserve that we would be kind.
That's good.
And I think that's really a lot of fun, kind of how he took Jesus's theme there and built that in the outro.
That is good, yeah.
Go Jason Gray.
Yeah. One little thing I want to say before I jump into my thoughts on the bridge too, and then we'll jump into some pointers for music therapy. I just wanted to say I see you guys over on Facebook. I was able to fix that little problem. Yay! And I can actually see what you guys are saying, and y'all are so sweet. Thank you so much for the wonderful compliments. Y'all are so kind. But okay, so I'll jump now into my thoughts on the bridge. So I feel like the bridge kind of focuses on, I think you kind of basically said this, which was like the universal family of humanity, how we're all created in God's image, brothers and sisters. That's like he was saying in the song. Right. I feel like it kind of reminds us that everyone we meet is a brother or sister in Christ and is deserving of kindness and compassion, because God gives that to everybody. You know what I mean? So regardless, they deserve that as well. And I feel like this kind of aligns with the Christian teaching that we are a part of God's family.
That's true.
Yeah, I don't know. Those are just kind of my closing thoughts on the song there.
Yeah, that's great.
Reiterating the point. But okay. So that was the song and our kind of like little deep analysis look into the lyrics individually, into different sections. So now we get to the fun part of the music therapy podcast.
Pressure.
I guess the pressure for you.
The pressure.
But so I always like to go through and ask a couple questions. But today we're actually going to start with some questions that we've gotten from the audience that they were hoping you would answer for us today. Okay. And you can give us kind of just brief examples as we're kind of running close to time here. And then we'll jump into some techniques that you can use. Like everybody who wants to listen to this song, we'll identify what best things that you could, like what things you could be going through that this song would best help with. And then our second thought would be how to then use this song to accomplish like growing your character with the song, basically. Okay. So we'll ask those questions in just a minute, but now we're actually going to jump into some questions from the audience. So I got 4 here. As I'm looking, they're very deep. But good luck to you, Mr. Counselor. Okay, so our first question is, what initial barriers do you think might hold somebody back from being consistently kind? That's our first question. Oof. Okay, good luck.
I would say the preoccupation with self. The more you think about, me, as in the me monster, the more you're not going to apply, just kind of brain space to being kind to somebody. And so, as a rule, I don't guess we wake up in the morning with, deliberately, intentionally trying to think about me. But, it's just, very easy to do. And so I think holding ourselves accountable to being selfless and thinking about others and evidencing that they do matter. How? Well, by treating them kindly. That would be kind of. So I think the barrier, selfishness.
Okay, that's good.
Question 1, check.
Okay, check.
Maybe.
All right, here's the second question. And yeah, if you guys have any questions that you would like to ask us, go ahead and ask, and we will try to either answer them on stream or get to them the next time we do a music therapy podcast.
And if I can't answer them, we'll just like mess with the microphone and say we had to have a
right, exactly. Okay, so here's our second question. So the second question is, does expressing kindness differ based on the situation or person? That's a good one. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I think it makes sense to be kind in a way that would be meaningful to somebody. And so that's how I'm interpreting the question. I mean, so how you're being kind to one person might be different if your intentions are to be kind to, a different person with a different situation or something. So
I see. Yeah.
I don't know if that's an overly simplified way to answer the question, but I mean, tailoring the way you love somebody to kind of reach their love language is, a kind of a parallel concept. And so you want to be kind to someone in a way that they would, be able to pick up. Well, geez, that was nice. He was noticing me, that kind of thing.
That's true. I think also, just a little side note here, correct me if I'm wrong, 25 years of experience. So my thought with that question, does kindness differ on the situation or person? I think kindness will be beneficial to certain people said in a certain way, if that makes sense. Okay. I think that's basically what you said. So yeah, different forms of kindness, different love languages, like you were saying. I think it's important too. This is a thought I made earlier about one of the verses here in the song. But let's say somebody's saying something that's hurtful to you. You know what I mean? And they consistently doing it, and it feels like you being kind is actually hurting yourself as well. You know what I mean? Because it just feels like this person's taking advantage of it. And so in your brain you might be thinking hey, why isn't this working? I'm being kind to this person and they're still whatever. I think it's important to understand kindness has different faces. You know what I mean? Somebody being not kind to you in a certain way that's affecting your soul and it's affecting your relationship, kindness can look different for that person, because maybe you telling them in a godly way, hey, what you're doing to me is actually hurting me. Yeah. That would help a person in the long run with their own soul and their own walk with God, because you were able to bring that to the forefront. I think that is also a different idea of what kindness can be.
I think that's
yeah.
I'm impressed.
Good? Okay, yay. You raised me.
So in other words, I mean, it might not be the warmest, fuzziest kind of experience.
Yeah.
It could be an honest statement or transparent statement, which is holding them accountable. But that could still be seen as an act of kindness, because maybe they need to, because just as well, you could have just snubbed your nose and walked off, right? I mean, you didn't have to say anything. So it's kind to let somebody know that, wow, that actually is damaging our relationship, and maybe going to create you being in a more alone world or something. So that's good.
Right.
On, sister.
Yeah, love your neighbor as yourself. That's important to remember, the as yourself. Certain people need to hear certain things.
Yeah, okay. That's good.
I don't know. That's just the thought I had about that question. Okay, so here's our third question. So our third question was, what are some small yet meaningful ways we can kind of practice kindness in our daily interactions? A little bit easier.
Okay, my first thought would be help any little old lady across the street that you possibly can.
Yeah.
That's kind of easy.
Okay.
Scouting around looking cute little old ladies. Excuse me, ma'am, do you need help across the street? She hits you with the purse. Leave me alone.
Okay, I tried. Anyway.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Is that all I have to say about it?
I mean, okay, so know your people. Your family members, and so from time to time be thoughtful about what you could bring to them that is an act of kindness that they, like maybe they like a certain candy or something, right? And you stopped at the gas station, you're like, okay, and you go in there and you buy that and you give it to them and you get home. I mean, that's kind.
Being mindful of others wherever you can. Yeah. Okay, that's good. Yeah. All right. So let's jump into our last one, and then we'll get into like the practices that we can do for this song.
Okay.
So our last question from our audience was, how can we better communicate our needs and boundaries when we are still being kind to others? Okay, I think I kind of touched on that earlier.
Actually, I think that's true. That's true. So if we want to be in meaningful relationships, with people, that doesn't come necessarily, easy. You have to have a voice and share what your thoughts are and, what your wants are and stuff. And so do they. And so maintaining depth in that relationship is going to require being honest with one another. Sometimes those conversations aren't real easy, but keep it kind. Don't be accusatory. Work at not being defensive, work at not being demanding. Keep the whole attitude of it kind, because you love them and they matter to you, and you want the whole point is you want a relationship with them.
That's good. Yeah. Okay. So now let's go ahead and get into our final 2 questions for the night, which these are always the big questions that we ask at the end of each music therapy podcast.
Gotcha.
So the song we listened to, what was the overall message for the song, and who do you think would best help from listening to this song? So that's the first one. We identify who we think might best be able to receive help from listening to the song. And then the second question is, what do we then do once we know this song is helpful for us? What are the steps to take when listening to this song to best prosper, to best have results?
Okay.
You know what I mean? Okay, so that's basically it.
So the chief message is emphasizing one of the fruits of the Spirit, which is kindness. And we acknowledge that taking the Bible serious, an example of that would be the fruits of the Spirit, and trying to practice those, trying to emulate those characteristics in our life. That makes us a healthier human, right? And so it's a wonderful song. It focuses on kindness. Like that one kind of falls right in the middle of that list.
Okay.
And that's Galatians 5, verse 22 and 23, actually. And so I think the message emphasizes be kind. That's what it's going for. And as far as who, I think I said this early on, but it's worth repeating. Anger is a very easy emotion to kind of get to. Especially when we live in a world that is in a practical way, in a very real way, just not kind.
Yeah.
And so we often feel like we're being taken advantage of, and people are rude and all this stuff. And so I think it's just important that we try and embody the business of kindness in a world that's kind of no fun. So I think anger is, we often find ourselves, kind of reacting to the world, or maybe just irritability, maybe stress or something. So if a person's dealing with anger issues, or if a person is very irritable because of stress, or if a person is struggling with just being empathetic, that doesn't really come easy either. And so compassion and empathy is tough. So this song could help you achieve being more kind, more empathetic, more compassionate if you kind of took the message in to your story and really began to practice it. So that's, I was attempting to answer the question, who would this help? Hope I did that.
Yeah. Okay, so now the second one, which is, now what do we do? Now that we know that this would be best helpful for me, if that's what you feel, now what do we do with that knowledge?
Yes, and I mentioned this before, and it'd be a good way to start this, I think. So what do we give God? I mean, if we want to give God something, what do we give Him? And that's, an interesting question. And I think the way to answer that is with simply the word good. What good you do in your life is what you give God. And if you want to give things to God, if you want to make contributions to God, the way you do that is by being good. And so kind is good. So that's neat. So I'm tying that concept to the song, and how to bring kindness in your life. Well, maybe create a challenge for yourself. Okay, so endeavor to do one kind thing or some number of kind things every day for, we'll go with our 3-week deal, 21 days.
Okay.
And just challenge yourself to do that. Write down the act of kindness so that way it doesn't get sort of lost.
Okay.
And recognize what that did to you in maybe developing you a little bit more in your humanity. And then also, how did that impact the world around you, your act of kindness?
Yeah, that's good.
Your act of Christ likeness, And so that would be, I think, a really good use of this song. I do certainly encourage listening to the song just as a way to kind of keep the message fresh in your mind for as long as you hold yourself accountable to this exercise. And so that's a really good one. And there are other things that I could say, would like to say. First, listen to the song, really meditate on it. Think about who was kind to you in your story. Maybe a teacher, a sibling, a parent, a friend, a neighbor, spouse, child, something.
Right.
And really meditate on those acts of kindness. I think that's really important to do. And could even create like a praise journal. And then you can also do the converse. If maybe you haven't been kind and you feel bad about that, you can seek reconciliation if possible to the person that you weren't so kind to, and set out to be kind in their direction as a way to show them love.
That's good. Yeah. I love that.
Some ideas.
Yeah, that's awesome. Okay. So that was kind of our deep analysis. Thank you so much for your expertise, 25 years of experience.
Well, I hope it counts for something.
It does. It's really good. Okay. So that was our look at Be Kind by Jason Gray. So typically what we also like to do is we like to add this song to our kind of like playlist. And I think this one would be under, what do you think, Discovery or Recovery?
Probably Recovery. I don't do a lot of Discovery songs. Sorry. Recovery from maybe just the hardship in life, trying to be a healthy human is the way I think about that playlist.
That's good, yeah. Okay, so this would be under our Recovery. And what I also like to do, this is kind of new. This is something that we're trying. And if it's helpful to y'all, I've heard that it is helpful to a couple people in our comments. But let us know if you want us to be able to give this out like mass, like email, distribute, whatever, something like that. But we are giving out these worksheets that kind of go with each of the songs that we review on the podcast, that maybe can help you guys go through the therapeutic process a little bit easier. Like on here, I'm just kind of like looking at it. We got like verses and just different sections to write down to kind of like listen and reflect to certain parts of the song, and just different exercises that would also help you guys be able to accomplish growing that idea of distilling kind of like kindness in yourself and learning how to just naturally be kind and growing your character in that aspect. So that's one of the things that the worksheet helps out with, and we'll have like a link or something in our description where you guys can go through. You can either DM us and we'll send it to you guys that way, or you guys can reach out to us like through our email, which I'm pretty sure is on my website, which is hollydalemusic.com. But y'all can go onto the website and get some more information by emailing us there. So that was pretty much it for our 15th episode, which I think went pretty well, except for a tiny little hiccup, which we will just ignore.
It's all good.
But that was it. I feel like it's crazy that we've already done 15 episodes. You know what I mean? We've been doing this for a solid minute. That's awesome. And we also, I think, have this on like Spotify and like Apple Music, if that's something y'all are interested in like listening to it in the car. Yeah, as a podcast. So that's something that we have as well, if y'all are interested. So but thank you guys so much for joining us for our 15th episode. We will be right back here doing another music therapy podcast next Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's the time we always do it. Yep. And if there are any songs that you guys would like us to look at, maybe do some comments on, or if there's questions that you guys have, especially from this podcast, this episode, or even previous ones, just let us know through like the DMs, and we will get through and try to answer those for you guys on stream.
That's right.
And then also look at different songs too, if that's something that you guys have in mind. So, and then also I'll be doing another singing stream everywhere, including TikTok this weekend, this Friday and Saturday. Right. Same schedule. Every week is Friday and Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you guys are interested in more music and song covers and suggestions, y'all can tune in then. We're going to be doing some jazz actually this weekend. I'm excited. Yay. We're getting ready for the jazz concert.
Fabulous.
Which will be in like 2 to 3 weeks, something like that. Anyway, but thank you guys so much for watching, and we hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your Wednesday Wednesday. Yes, Wednesday evening.
Happy 4th of July.
And yes, oh my gosh, happy 4th of July. All right, bye guys. Well, it's
See ya.
tomorrow, but yeah.
That's true.
Okay, bye guys.
Brake lights stuck on the highway. Some guy cuts into my lane. Anger like an explosion. I'm mad and make sure he knows it. But I don't know what he's been through. The family's trying to get to. That's when the spirit inside me reminds me to be